Wheel. A wheel is a rotating component, typically circular in shape, that is intended to turn on an axle bearing. The wheel is one of the key components of the wheel and axle, which is one of the 6 simple machines. Wheels, in conjunction with axles, allow heavy objects to be moved easily, facilitating movement or transportation while supporting a load or performing labor in machines. Wheels are also used for other purposes, such as a ship's wheel, steering wheel, potter's wheel, and flywheel. Common examples can be found in transport applications. A wheel reduces friction by facilitating motion by rolling together with the use of axles. In order for wheels to rotate, a moment needs to be applied to the wheel about its axis, either by way of gravity or by the application of another external force or torque. Printing press. The printing press is a machine for printing. It makes many copies of identical pages. The printing press today is used to print books and newspapers. It had a great influence on society, especially Western society. It was one of the most potent agents of Western civilization in bringing together the scattered ideas of thinkers. Woodcut printing has been done for several centuries. That was whole pages cut into wood, words and pictures. In the 15th century, Johannes Gutenberg improved the process. He used separate alloy letters screwed into a frame. This way, a large set of letters could make almost any page for printing. This process was called typesetting. Each letter was in a block of metal, fixed in a frame. He could then move paper and ink over it, much like a stamp. This method was called letterpress. The letters would leave ink on the paper in the shape of the letters, creating text or illustrations. Steam engine. A steam engine is an engine that uses steam from boiling water to make it move. The steam pushes on the engine parts to make them move. Steam engines can power many kinds of machines, including vehicles and electric generators. Steam engines were used in mine pumps starting in the early 17th century and were much improved by James Watt in the 1770s. They were very important during the Industrial Revolution, where they replaced horses, windmills, and watermills to work machines. The first steam engines were piston engines. The steam pressure pushed on a piston, which made it move along a cylinder, and so they had a reciprocal back and forth motion. This could move a pump directly, or work a crank to turn a wheel and work a machine. They operated at low pressure and had to be very big to make a lot of power. Steam engines were used in factories to work machines and in mines to move pumps. Later, smaller engines were built that could move railway locomotives and steamboats. Light bulb. An electric light, lamp, or light bulb is an electrical component that produces light. It is the most common form of artificial lighting. Lamps usually have a base made of ceramic, metal, glass, or plastic, which secures the lamp in the socket of a light fixture, which is often called a lamp as well. The electrical connection to the socket may be made with a screw thread base, 2 metal pins, 2 metal caps, or a bayonet mount. The 3 main categories of electric lights are incandescent lamps, which produce light by a filament heated white hot by electric current, gas discharge lamps, which produce light by means of an electric arc through a gas, such as fluorescent lamps, and LED lamps, which produce light by a flow of electrons across a band gap in a semiconductor. Airplane. An airplane or aeroplane, informally plane, is a fixed-wing aircraft that is propelled forward by thrust from a jet engine, propeller, or rocket engine. Airplanes come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and wing configurations. The broad spectrum of uses for airplanes includes recreation, transportation of goods and people, military, and research. Worldwide, commercial aviation transports more than 4 billion passengers annually on airliners and transports more than 200 billion ton-kilometers of cargo annually, which is less than 1% of the world's cargo movement. Most airplanes are flown by a pilot on board the aircraft, but some are designed to be remotely or computer-controlled, such as drones. The Wright brothers invented and flew the first airplane in 1903, recognized as the first sustained and controlled heavier-than-air powered flight. They built on the works of George Cayley, dating from 1799, when he set forth the concept of the modern airplane and the work of German pioneer of human aviation Otto Lilienthal, who, between 1867 and 1896, also studied heavier-than-air flight. Computer. A computer is a machine that can be programmed to automatically carry out sequences of arithmetic or logical operations. Modern digital electronic computers can perform generic sets of operations known as programs. These programs enable computers to perform a wide range of tasks. The term computer system may refer to a nominally complete computer that includes the hardware, operating system, software, and peripheral equipment needed and used for full operation, or to a group of computers that are linked and function together, such as a computer network or computer cluster. A broad range of industrial and consumer products use computers as control systems, including simple special-purpose devices like microwave ovens and remote controls, and factory devices like industrial robots. Computers are at the core of general-purpose devices, such as personal computers, and mobile devices, such as smartphones. Computers power the internet, which links billions of computers and users. The internet. The internet is the global system of interconnected computer networks that uses the Internet Protocol Suite to communicate between networks and devices. It is a network of networks that consists of private, public, academic, business, and government networks of local to global scope, linked by a broad array of electronic, wireless, and optical networking technologies. The internet carries a vast range of information resources and services, such as the interlinked hypertext documents and applications of the World Wide Web, electronic mail, telephony, and file sharing. The internet has no single centralized governance in either technological implementation or policies for access and usage. Each constituent network sets its own policies. The overarching definitions of the two principal namespaces on the internet, the Internet Protocol Address Space and the Domain Name System, are directed by a maintainer organization, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Cinematography. Cinematography is the art of motion picture photography. Cinematographers use a lens to focus reflected light from objects into a real image that is transferred to some image sensor or light-sensitive material inside the movie camera. These exposures are created sequentially and preserved for later processing and viewing as a motion picture. Capturing images with an electronic image sensor produces an electrical charge for each pixel in the image, which is electronically processed and stored in a video file for subsequent processing or display. Images captured with photographic emulsion result in a series of invisible latent images on the film stock, which are chemically developed into a visible image. The images on the film stock are projected for viewing in the same motion picture. Concrete. Concrete is a composite material composed of aggregate bonded together with a fluid cement that cures to a solid over time. Concrete is the second most used substance in the world after water and is the most widely used building material. Its usage worldwide, ton for ton, is twice that of steel, wood, plastics, and aluminium combined. When aggregate is mixed with dry Portland cement and water, the mixture forms a fluid slurry that is easily poured and molded into shape. The cement reacts with the water through a process called concrete hydration that hardens it over several hours to form a hard matrix that binds the materials together into a durable stone-like material that has many uses. This time allows concrete to not only be cast in forms, but also to have a variety of tooled processes performed. Often, additives are included in the mixture to improve the physical properties of the wet mix, delay or accelerate the curing time, or otherwise change the finished material. See you in the next video.